You mentioned on the way, not in the way. This is one of your great phrases. So when we see something that looks like a problem in life, a lot of us, the first reaction, for everybody, is that's in my way, that's bad, that's a problem. But you're saying it's on the way. It's part of the journey. How do people start to recognize those things? How do you start to be aware of all of these things around you?
Can I share a story?
Please.
So I have a guy who asked for a consult. He owns a big company in Africa. And he was driving down the highway, the freeway. 4 cars came up and surrounded him. Guys with masks on came out with guns and machine guns and came up to his car and stopped him, banged out his window, unlocked the door, grabbed him, put a thing over his head and put him in the trunk. Okay, you would think that's a bit stressful.
Yeah, that's some feedback.
That's So he gets in the trunk and they drive for like 5 hours to the middle of nowhere. He had no idea where it was initially. And they basically said they want a very large sum of money. It's a ransom. And they've got the evidence that they've got their family and they're going to kill their family if he doesn't do this. Okay, this is pretty stressful, most people would think, right? So he goes there and he ends up having to get the money. It takes him a period of time because he didn't have liquid cash. He had money in assets, but not liquidity, so he couldn't just hand him money. And he didn't want to not give him the money because these people would kill people. So he raised the money, took a few weeks to get it. He got the money together and paid him. He was let loose. He finally made it home. He got back to his family. He's under post-traumatic stress diagnosis. He's got all this stuff going on. And somehow somebody led him said, have a consult with John, right? And I have a different angle on things. So I said, so okay, let's go to the moment when you had the biggest stress. He said, when I got in that trunk, I could barely breathe. It had fumes. All I could think of is, I'm going to die. My family's going to die. What's going to happen? I was just in shock. I said, there's no way you can have tragedy without ecstasy. He goes, I don't understand that. The mind will always homeostate things and it will dissociate and create an alternative reality in order to compensate. So I want you to go to that moment when you're sitting in that car. And at that moment, get really, really present. And as he got really present, I said, your mind, you're perceiving right now fumes. So your mind will dissociate and create fresh air. If you're automatically thinking it's constrained, you'll imagine yourself representing freedom. Your mind will create a complementary opposite. So as he did that, he closed his eyes, he got really present, took about 5 or 6 attempts. He finally got really present. And he goes, wow. He got tears in his eyes. He said, I'm walking through a field and almost hopping through a field, holding hands with my children and my wife, and we're running through a field in fresh air, and there's butterflies and birds which represent freedom, and it's clear and sunny instead of dark, and I'm free in open space instead of constricted. And I showed him that his mind automatically homeostates things in order to survive. And he all of a sudden, when he says, I see that my mind actually had ecstasy at the moment I had torture. I said, exactly. And he says, and now I'm having tears in my eyes, and I'm not frightened about the torture, and I'm not, it's like there's some sort of synthesis. I said, well, the moment you have a synthesis, this is a sympathetic stimulus, this is a parasympathetic stimulus, that put them together, you get a beta wave and you get a delta wave, you get an alpha wave. The alpha wave gives you a gamma synchronicity in the brain, and you get this aha and eureka moment, you get tears in your eyes, confirming that you now see things as they are, not only one side. We tend to think that with a subjective bias that this is happening, but this is also happening. But this is conscious, this is unconscious. The moment we become fully conscious, we have a state of grace. So he became fully conscious, and I went through frame by frame by frame through each of the moments he thought he was in trauma, and showed him what his mind did, and showed him how his mind balanced it out. And he was just calm, and he just sat there and he says, I don't feel the torture, I don't feel the trauma, I don't feel any of that. And then I said, now what was the benefit of being in there in that moment in the thing? He said, for the first time since I got married, I really, really appreciated my family. He said, I have been working like a dog, working long hours, focused on building a business, making lots of money and everything else. And I think I was just kind of going to the edge. I was getting feedback from my wife that if you keep going like this, we're going to be leaving. So he was sitting on the edge. He was intuitively knowing that, but he was not doing anything about it because he just felt cocky because he's proud of what he was doing and accomplished. He said, when I did that, I realized I really loved my wife. And I didn't know how much I did until that moment. I didn't realize that. Now, while I was in this situation and way from the business, I've been pushing everybody in business to try to get them to take command. But the truth was I kept interfering with it by robbing them of accountabilities, by this is how you do it and everything else. And they couldn't rise to the occasion. When I was away, all these people rose to the occasion and my business flourished more than normal. And they said, so I got my family appreciated. I got to have my business growing. And when I came back, I had lost a bunch of weight because they didn't feed me. I had hypertension, my blood pressure came down. Now I'm doing yoga, I'm spending time with my family and everything else. My business makes more money than it did. And I said, how much was the ransom? And I'm not going to tell you, and how much did it make? He said, I'm still profited after the ransom because I got out of its way. And he says, what was interesting is my intuition was letting me know I was on the edge of my marriage, letting me know I was on the edge of my health, letting me know I was on the edge of the frustration with the management of the business because I was in the way. And he said, right now, if it wasn't for those individuals that just ransomed me and hijacked me, I might be dead, I might be divorced, I might collapse my business. Right now, I have a feeling I'd like to thank those people. So he said, I said, well, then close your eyes and imagine them. And he closed his eyes and he said, thank you for giving me my life back. So we think, Stephen Wolfram, who's a mathematician, said that entropy and disorder is missing information. Claude Shannon said the same thing. And two guys from MIT talked about missing information. And order is reclaiming the information, seeing it, negentropy. And so we sometimes think we know what's going on with our subjective bias and we have opinion, but we're actually missing information. He was missing information when he was labeled post-traumatic because he was seeing only one side, the trauma. When I showed him the other side of the information and put the two together and he had full information, he saw the hidden order in the apparent chaos, and all of a sudden he was in a state of gratitude because he realized that his intuition and his own unconsciousness was making sure this was the only way he could have done it. I said, could you have gotten that outcome? He said, I've hired consultants, I couldn't get that outcome. This is the only thing that I could do to get that outcome. Right now I feel gratitude. I said, now you've healed, there's no post-traumatic. He hadn't had any post-traumatic stress since then.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. I'm looking for partners, collaborators, colleagues who want to join forces with me around the globe and create real value, generational wealth, and financial freedom for everyone else around the world. Get involved in the cryptocurrency markets, get involved in the NFT markets. This is your moment. Life all comes down to a few moments. Don't let this pass. Now it's not too late. Next year's going to be too late. Ultimately, this is about freedom. That's the way I see it. This is about giving power back to the people and enabling billions of people worldwide to use the financial markets to improve their lives and those of their friends and their families and their communities. Honestly, I think it's a violation of human rights not to allow people basic access to financial services. Because right now people are being kept in the dark, they're being robbed of education, and it's a travesty. And so I'm looking for people that want to join me and be a part of this solution. And that all happens inside the DeFi Academy. The gains my students are making are absolutely amazing. double, triple digit gains in the first month alone. That's amazing. This will change your life. Now is the time to get involved. I'm gonna tell you exactly how my students in my academy made money in the last 30 days. I'm talking about real trading results. And let me just whet your appetite a little bit. Let me hit you with some numbers. I'm talking Brendan from New Zealand is up 68.77% on the month. Steve from Europe up 83%. Albert in Singapore up 169.9% on one single trade. I got Susan up 153% on her call options alone, also rocking 139% returns and 442% returns as well on individual trades. These are people that are changing their financial future in the last 30 days, but it's based on trading discipline.
I've graduated over 500 students from inside my academy from over 54 countries around the world. It's amazing. When it comes to crypto, DeFi, and blockchain, we love this space. We truly believe it's the future. This is down to our core. It's authentic to what we're doing, and everybody can tell through the camera because you can't make this stuff up.
If you're watching me now, wherever you are, I implore you, take 60 seconds right now and join my academy. Apply today. Now you've got a chance. Life all comes down to a few moments. What are you gonna do? What's the choice that you're going to make?